Greetings and salutations, men, women, and children of all ages. Welcome into the best damn Illini Postgame Show from No One Asked Us. He is Craig. I am Logan. Well, trademark. Hashtag trademark. Coming to you live after a nice home win for the Illini against a top 25 ranked Wisconsin Badgers team. 86-80 was the final. Hop in the chat. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know where you're watching from. I've already got one text. Somebody's not watching, but I've been told that Logan, your mom says hi. So hello, mom. Yeah.
I don't think we'll talk too much of last weekend on the show, but
Correct.
I got the first hi from your mom in person ever on Friday night.
Yes, you probably did. Well, congratulations. That's wonderful for you. Yes, we've been MIA for a few games. We did not do a show on Thanksgiving, and then we did not do a show on Friday. Obviously, I was a little busy. Craig was with me for that evening, but we're here now. We're here now to talk about Illinois basketball and tonight's win over Wisconsin. Right off the top, Craig, how you feeling? Did you I'll just address this right now. I didn't watch a single second of the Northwestern game. Had they won, I might have gone back and watched. I did not. I didn't even really listen to anything. I didn't read much of anything. I think I read one article Piper wrote about like what went wrong. So I kind of get the idea that but just going into this game and now after the fact, where are you at? Where's your head on this one?
So this one in particular, I didn't think Illinois played particularly well at all, and you still get a 6-point win.
Yeah.
So take that for what it's worth. I did watch the Northwestern game immediately when we got back to the hotel Friday. Went and hung out with the in-laws who were watching Bennett while we were at the wedding. So I had the recording on, but it was one of those, quickly, dead ball, you're fast forwarding through free throws. So I wasn't fully invested in it. And I honestly, so I got the notification because I was way behind, obviously. I got the notification before the game was over, and I misread the notification. So I got the final score, and I thought it said Illinois 59, Northwestern 56. So the whole final couple minutes, I was like, okay, we win. And then
wow.
I was like, hold on a second. What's going on? So I misread the notification. So I was when I got the notification and saw what I thought was the final score, I checked out. I was like, okay, I saw the final, whatever. We won. And then after I realized we didn't, I locked into overtime. And at that point, it was just, we got behind so quick. I told your dad Friday night, I said I was nervous. I said this is a brand new roster. It was the first road game. It was not first true. Was it first true road game?
Technically, yes. I mean, Alabama in Birmingham, which is a road game, but it wasn't in Tuscaloosa. So yes.
First true road game in the opponent's home arena, a new team. We rarely play well at Northwestern. I was nervous going in. I told your dad that. So I wasn't surprised at the loss. But to come back tonight, you're in your home arena. Like I said, I don't think Illinois played really good at all. Kasparas played great. Tre White played great. Ivisic played great. Did anyone else play very? Kylan. I always like what Kylan brings. So you had four guys that really contributed. The rest of the team kind of stunk it up.
Yeah.
And you still win by 6. So I think what we've said the past couple games, the past, I guess, month now that the season's happened, is that right now you're kind of playing with house money. You don't want to get too far behind the 8-ball, but this team's still figuring stuff out. I just don't think they're on the same page. The Arkansas game is an outlier. I thought everything clicked in the Arkansas game.
everything clicked in the Arkansas game because they were making threes.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Like, that's the only thing that was different between that game and other games is that they made the shots.
Yeah.
I don't know that they particularly played that much better or that much worse in that game. They just made the 3-pointers, and that was the difference in that game. I mean, we didn't really have a chance to talk about that, but I mean, that's ultimately what happened. I mean, I think, yes, as you said, I think this team is still figuring it out. They're still learning how to play together. As you mentioned, this is the first real legitimate road game, or Northwestern was. So yeah, this is early. This is December 10th. This team has, what is the 7th win?
7-2.
Seven wins. Like, you can't be upset with any of that. And tonight's game it's a win. It's a big win. It's a home win against currently a top 25 Wisconsin team, a team that beat Arizona earlier in the season. Like, they're not going to be, I don't think Wisconsin's a Big Ten title contender, but like they're definitely a top third team in the Big Ten. So yeah, I mean, this is a big win, but I do agree with you. I don't think this was a particularly strong game for Illinois. It was a particularly strong game for 3 or 4 players. This was the best Tre White we have seen. This was the Tre White game, even though he wasn't the leading scorer on the team. Like, this was the Tre White game. This is the Tre White player experience we've been waiting to see now for 7 games. We just haven't seen him take over, step up, be the veteran leader. He's one of the only players on this team that has true high major basketball experience, and we haven't seen anything from him until tonight. Huh?
One of 2, him and Kylan.
Yeah, and Dre to an extent. But he wasn't playing a ton of minutes last year. But yeah, like, that's literally it. Everybody else on this team has never played high major college basketball before. So we've been waiting for Tre to show up. Now we got Tre White had a good game, which means we saw less of Will Riley. That, I guess it's a weird trade-off. We can talk about that in a minute because I have some thoughts on that. But yeah, as you said, it was a great Tre White game. He finished with 23 points, 8 rebounds. He had that nice putback dunk late in the game. Kasparas was the leading scorer for Illinois, 24 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists for him.
Career high.
4 turnovers. Huh?
Career high in points. 8 games, not in 9 games, but
I thought he had more than that at one point. Okay, yeah.
I thought the broadcast said career high.
No, I think I did hear that, but so yeah, Kylan had 19 points. He was 7 for 7 from the free throw line. Tre was 9 for 10 from the free throw line. Ivisic 9 points, 11 rebounds, so nearly a double-double for him. So those 4 players played really well. Outside of that, it was messy. Ben Hummerkaus, I have, yeah, go ahead. I have some concerns there. I think the kid can play. I think he can shoot. If he's not making threes, though, he's genuinely a liability. And that to me is where the Will Riley and Morez Johnson thing come into play. I think they need to be eating into his minutes at some point. I'm not saying that he can't get it together at some point. And again, if he's hitting shots, then it's different. But he was 1 for 5 from the field, all of them threes. He was 1 for 2 from the free throw line, scored 4 points tonight. He had 1 rebound. He's your 6'9" power forward, and he had 1 rebound.
Forward, yes.
And 4 fouls. Like, that's you just can't have that. You can't have that from your oldest player, technically your most experienced player in terms of college basketball. That just can't be the case. Like, you got to have more from him. And I know that was part of the story from the Northwestern game. Again, I didn't watch it, but from what I understand, from what I've seen, it sounds like defensively he was certainly a liability there. And I know we've talked about this before. You pointed out a few games ago how he was a defensive liability. And my response to that was that I felt like he was trying really hard. And I still think that's true to an extent, but that can only get you so far. And to this point in the season, he is a liability. If he's not making shots, I don't know if you can have him out there for 26 minutes like you did tonight. I just don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to keep piling on the kid because I think at some point, things might turn around. But for right now, when he plays 26 minutes and that's the production you get. And Will Riley, maybe there's another story to why Will Riley only played 15 minutes, but and Morez Johnson only played 13. I don't know. Like Brad made the comment about the Northwestern game about choosing to play, I don't know, the rotations he didn't like. I don't know. Maybe there's some other reason behind some of these things that I'm not unaware of or whatever. But again, that's my biggest thing. It's Hummerkaus playing 26 minutes and putting up those numbers when Will Riley and Morez Johnson combined for 28 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of hit on everything there with Ben. And I tweeted it early in the game. He missed his first 2 threes. And I said, if Ben Hummerkaus is not hitting outside shots, he can't be out there because that's his job. Like, I don't think any of us expected him to lock down on the defensive end or anything. We expected him to come in and make threes, which he did early. I looked it up after he missed his first 2. Coming into tonight, he was still shooting 37% from 3 for the season. But it's these last 4 or 5 games where he's been, I think they said 7 of 27 the last couple games. Excuse me. You can't have that. He cannot be on the floor. He is a liability everywhere. Everywhere. Yep. I saw it on Twitter. I can't take credit. I don't know who said it. Kind of cheesy, kind of cliche. Brickhouse. Kind of
so far.
Into. Yeah.
I mean, what's his? I don't even have it pulled up. What's his like? I don't know. I don't want to keep piling on that kid. But yeah, it's not good.
I mean,
it's not.
That
good.
kid is the reason for my most viral tweet ever. So I kind of love him.
That's true.
My boy Lyndon here brought something up, and it kind of rolls into this as well. Where's Kerry Booth? He can't even get a minute. Like if Hummerkaus is playing this bad, they're not the exact same player, but they're similar. Like if that's a role you want, why is Booth on the riding the pine? Thanks for tuning in, by the way, Lyndon.
Yeah, I don't know. And to Lyndon's point too, I mean, Jake Davis got 5 minutes again. Like not the 5 minutes.
Warner said he was the first one off the bench.
Yeah,
he was the first player to take his warm up off and go to the scores table.
I don't know what's going on there. I didn't necessarily expect Kerry Booth to be a big minute guy.
No, but when Hummerkaus is playing this bad, you
right. But I also
something.
Didn't expect him to be a no-show in terms of the stat sheet continuously. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure but yeah, like you have the other options too. Like you have Will Riley and Morez Johnson who can both play the 4. I don't know. I just at some point something's gonna have to change there. Either Ben's gonna have to start making shots or they're gonna have to start shuffling that rotation up, whether that's more minutes for Kerry Booth, whether that's reshuffling, the other bench pieces. I don't know. There's enough talent on this team. They got to figure it out. But either way, we're talking negatively about this game when it was a 6-point win against our top 25 team. So I think we should probably back that down. Yeah. So this team tonight, 42% from the field, 30% from 3. They were 88% for the free throw line, 22 for 25. So that was strong. I mentioned earlier, Tre White, 9 for 10. Kylan was 7 for 7. And KJ was 4 for 4. So the 3 of them combined to be nearly perfect from the free throw line. So that's a positive. Yeah, I thought the Wisconsin is a better team than Northwestern.
Yeah.
But I thought the effort tonight, again, without seeing the Northwestern game, the effort tonight seemed a lot better from what I understand. And I have to think that was Brad used Friday as a a lesson. Like we can't do this. Like you just can't go on the road in Big Ten play, even against a team that's probably bottom whatever, at least bottom half. You just can't go on the road and just like expect to walk away with these wins. Like it's just not going to happen.
Well,
So
yeah,
I
and
think that was
we
probably a
saw
good wake up
that.
call.
Was it the night before when Penn State went or Purdue went to Penn State and just got obliterated? I mean, especially this year when the Big Ten is wide open, winning on the road in this conference is going to be tough. Like if you get one road win in this conference, you're going to be happy because it's not going to be easy. You want to touch on? I know you didn't watch Northwestern, but tonight and what you've seen, do you want to touch on Cam's question here?
Yeah. So Cam's talking about leadership, defense, body language, that type of stuff. I think this stuff that Cam's referring to has improved. I do think that leadership, certain players are starting to emerge as more of leaders. I have not seen it at all from Tre White. I'm not even sure I really saw it tonight. He just played a hell of a lot better. I think we're certainly seeing it from Kylan Boswell. I think you're seeing it from KJ. I think he is, even as a freshman, I think he is a leader on the court. I haven't really looked too much into the body language of this team yet. I still think it's just so early. And this team is so new. It's hard to like really pick up on some of these things. I still want to see more consistently from Tre White. I think that's the biggest one for me in terms of like who you want that to be. Because again, he's one of two guys that has real experience playing at this level, like major minutes. And to this point, up until tonight, we hadn't really seen anything from him. I'm not expecting players like Will Riley and Morez Johnson to be, to come in and be vocal leaders and all these things. Those guys are coming in. They're freshmen. They're talented. One of them might be a one and done type of player. But like, I don't expect that from them. I also really haven't seen a ton in terms of like, I feel like at times in past years, you can kind of tell who is already unhappy with their situation. And I don't know that I've seen that yet. I can't imagine certain players are happy with their situation, including a player we just talked about a couple minutes ago who has hardly seen the floor. But so far, at least with the guys that are out there, I haven't totally seen it. Does Will Riley love coming off the bench? I don't know. Probably not. I really hope that Brad Underwood has told him to look up Marvin Williams, like you and I talked about, to learn what
I had
the
that thought
sixth man could
tonight.
be. But
like, Ben's playing so bad, but Brad just never messes with rotations like that. I just don't know how much longer you can ride with him when he's giving you nothing.
No, I think I was pretty adamant about Will Riley coming off the bench early on because I didn't think you could I just didn't think you could have that many freshmen on the court to start as in your starting lineup. As talented as they were, I just didn't think that was something Brad was going to do. Now here we are approaching the halfway mark in the season, getting close to it at least. I could certainly see something happening. Will it? I don't know. Brad is not one to change up his lineups too much. And I'm sure he does love having Ben Hummerkaus out there. And it's not like typically Will Riley's not playing starters minutes. Just because he's not in the game in the first 4 minutes doesn't mean he's not playing as many minutes as anybody else. I think last I looked, he was like, second on the team in minutes. Now, again, he didn't play as many tonight, so maybe that dips a little bit. But, I mean, I think outside of KJ and Kylan, he's going to play at least the third most minutes on this team. So it doesn't particularly bother me that he comes off the bench. But I agree. You need to be able to have that spark as soon as the game starts. And if Ben Hummerkaus isn't providing it, then you might have to go somewhere different.
Sorry, I was looking at stats.
No, you're fine. I was just thinking about the whole body language thing because, like, there have been times where there have been certain players that I've kind of read into situations, and I just don't feel like I've done that yet. Maybe it's because I haven't been fully invested in every second of these past few games. One was on Thanksgiving at the same time I was eating dinner, and one was during my wedding, so I never watched it. And tonight I was also Christmas shopping, so I don't know. You never know.
Do you even care about Illinois basketball anymore? Michael giving us our nightly recap of Coach's post game. Mad that national sports not talking how good KJ is as a guard. Maybe not the national college guys, but a lot of the NBA scouts are moving him up and up and up on those draft boards. I saw him as high as number 8 on Gavoni's this week.
I think the thing with the national media guys, as far as Illinois is concerned, is that Illinois wasn't really on anybody's radar going into the season.
Yeah.
Just because this team was entirely new. Kylan Boswell and Tre White were the only players on the team that any of those people had ever even heard of.
Yeah.
So
and even Tre White's a stretch because he was buried at Louisville
right
the last 2
so
years.
Then you come into the season and like they get their big test against Alabama, but like they don't play very. I mean, it wasn't like a blowout or anything, but like they lose to Alabama. And then they had a nice showing on Thanksgiving against Arkansas, but like I don't know, Illinois just hasn't really shown anything yet as a team to like really earn the attention of of all the national people. So like that doesn't shock me. But I think over the course of time, I think that will change because I do think KJ is genuinely one of the best guards in the country.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know like what that'll mean come the end of the season, like if he's on, all American watch lists or all conference, whatever. But I think, as you said, I think the scouts are certainly seeing it. And I think the media will pick it up at some point too.
He's averaging 22 points over the last 4 games.
Not bad.
Four games bad at all.
4 games being against
3
Wisconsin, Northwestern, Arkansas, and Little Rock. Yeah,
Little Rock.
that's not bad.
Yeah, and he's shooting. My gosh, I can't add it up, but he shot 50% from 3 tonight, 60% Friday night, 40% against Arkansas, and 75% against Little Rock. And he is 19 of 20 from the free throw line in that span.
Yeah.
He's
pretty good.
I wouldn't say nearly averaging a triple-double, but 22 points, probably 8.5 rebounds, and 6 assists in that 4-game span.
Not too shabby.
There was something else you said that I was going to touch on. Dwayne's asking about Ivisic. I think he's exactly what Illinois wants in a big. He's going to get you a near double-double every night. He's going to hit a 3. He's going to grab boards.
Yeah, I don't know that
I think he's great.
I mean, I was watching. I wasn't listening to the radio, so I don't know specifically like how he was being interpreted on the radio. I don't think he was unimpactful by any means.
No.
No, he only finished with 9 points, but he still had 11 rebounds. I mean, I think this is a team that's going to struggle to get rebounds. I think this is something that Brad's continuing to stress. What was the rebound battle tonight?
I think we won 49.
40 to 29.
40 to 29.
Yeah. So defense 25-18.
15 offensive rebounds as opposed to like what was it, 4 against Northwestern?
Yeah, I think that's just something this team's gonna have to figure out. Again, when you have Ben Hammerkow starting as your 4, the rebounds are going to be an issue. So Ivisic he's going to get those for sure. He'll have his nights. This certainly wasn't like a terrible night for him. It wasn't his best night, but I don't think he was unimpactful.
No, he wasn't unimpactful at all. He wasn't as dominant as he has been. He wasn't as aggressive as he has been.
Yeah,
but he was not unimpactful. I thought he had a pretty good game.
He was fine.
Brandon wants to talk about how bad the AP is.
Is in the poll.
I'm assuming.
I think that I haven't even given it.
It's good in theory, but
this week
people are stupid.
It is. I think it's still like it's just inconsistent. It's hard because these teams aren't necessarily playing everybody. And I don't know. I don't give it a ton of thought until really get a little later in the season. Not that
Yeah.
it really matter. It doesn't really matter to anything. It's just a number. And I don't have a lot of issues with it. It's going to be a lot of sporadic things. Teams are going to win one week and lose the next week, and they're going to ping pong all around the thing. So
all you really need to know is on the poll that came out yesterday, 47 schools got at least one vote. Like, there's so much disparity right now.
Right.
But this poll is important. Do you know why this poll is important that came out on Monday?
Yes, isn't it like every national champion or something
since 2002, I think,
has been
in the top 12
12?
of this week's poll.
Yeah.
So Tennessee, Auburn, Iowa State, Duke, Kentucky, Marquette, Alabama, Gonzaga, Florida, Kansas, Purdue, and Oregon are your top 12. So if history repeats itself, one of those 12 will be the national champion in 4 months.
There you go.
So there's that.
Place your bets now. What else you got from the chat? I know you've been
BDIPS.
Mark, best damn Illini postgame show. We're here, baby. We're here before the professionals. I saw Jeff's question on there.
Jeff, yeah, we kind of touched on it. I just don't think Brad adjusts starting lineups unless there's an injury or it's an absolute necessity.
Again, Will Riley played 15 minutes tonight. So, like,
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe, like, it's certainly possible. But, like, one, as you said, Brad doesn't make these kind of adjustments. And two, clearly something wasn't clicking with Will tonight either because he didn't play nearly as much as he had in previous games. So
he only took 4 shots. Normally he gets in and he chucks it. And he only took 4 shots tonight.
Yeah. Could have just been an off night for him. But again, Tre was playing well. So I don't know. But again, the Ben thing is the issue. Is Will Riley going to give you enough to play the 4? I think is really where the question is. He can score. He can absolutely light it up. But can he play with the other bigs in the conference? And I think it's very – the Big Ten is always going to be very physical. And I know he doesn't necessarily need to be lining up with the centers or whatever, the 5-man. But, like, I think there's going to be a difference between Will playing the 3 and Will playing the 4 when it comes to Big Ten play. And I don't know. Not that Ben Humberkaus is much better because right now he surely ain't. But, like, Will Riley, for as good as he is as a scorer, he's got some things to figure out. He's 17 years old, like, or whatever. Like they got to put some weight on him. He's got to do a lot of things. So we'll see, but something's gonna have to change there at some point.
Yeah, I don't think I have a whole lot else.
No, I don't know that I do either. It was a nice win. Was it the best game they played all season? No, absolutely not. But they made their free throws. Wisconsin tried to keep it close, and they did.
Yeah, they did. They gave it a scare.
Game lasted about 5 minutes real time longer than it probably should have. But Wisconsin kept it close, and that's all they were trying to do. But yeah, a win's a win. Illinois gets win number 7 on the year, and this is a pretty slow time of the year. So take them when you can get them.
Not this exact question, but a question similar to this was thrown out in the chat while Kasparas was going on his tear. He's the best freshman since when? Is it Io? Is it Kofi?
I think he's going to have a better freshman season than Io did.
Yeah. I think so too. Io wasn't great as a freshman. It was his sophomore and junior years when he took over.
I mean, I think we're already trending in that direction. So in that case, I don't know. I don't know who would it have been.
I feel like Kofi averaged 13 and 8, so even that's not great as a freshman. I mean, Kasparas is going to average 17,
What did
8,
Trent
and
average?
5. Trent Frazier?
Yeah, because that team had nobody else. So, like,
Yeah.
he might have been, in terms of numbers, I don't know.
12.5 points, 3 assists. So
I mean,
no.
I think the fact that KJ is a undeniable one and done player, and is
Yeah.
proving his worth as a true all Big Ten caliber guard. That's something that most players that have come through this program haven't done. So, um, as you said, I think Io's sophomore and junior seasons were far better than his freshman year. So I think at this point, I think he's definitely pacing to have a better freshman season than Io did.
D Brown averaged 12 points, 5 assists, 3.5 rebounds. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna find any freshman that stuffs the stat sheet as much as KJ is gonna stuff it this year.
Yeah, I don't know, and he's going to do a lot of it. But yeah.
Before we go, did you see what Arkansas did to Michigan tonight?
I didn't see the final score. No.
Last I looked, it was 18 points.
Yikes! I thought Michigan might actually be decent, but
well, I mean, they were undefeated. I think.
Right.
No, they were 8-1. Oh wow, they came back.
Oh, 2-point game.
2-point game.
I just see it. 89-87 was the final. Wow.
Yeah, they went on a. Yeah, it was 80-62 last I saw, or it was 78-60 last I saw. Ended up 89-87. Wow.
Boogie Flan, 20 points.
I do think Michigan is good, but I think just like Wisconsin, I think a lot of these Big Ten teams have just been playing better than they actually are. I think Purdue's overrated. I think Wisconsin is overrated. Michigan right now is probably overrated.
All right, so right now on December 10th, who finishes in the top 3 in the Big Ten, the standings?
Oh, wow. I think. Well, I can't even venture a guess. I don't know. I think Illinois probably does. You said 3 or 4?
I said 3. I just picked a number.
I would go Illinois. I would go Illinois, Michigan, and
you can't be that far out on Purdue.
I am. I don't see it with Purdue.
Interesting.
I think they have 2 really good players and one other starter. I think Braden Smith and Trey Kaufman-Renn are great. I think Fletcher Lawyer is okay. I don't see much else from them. I would say Illinois, Michigan, and I'm going to throw Maryland out there to you.
Interesting. Okay.
I know UCLA is a very popular pick, but I haven't seen them play yet. I watched a little bit of the Maryland Purdue game. Is it Purdue? Yeah, Purdue game on Sunday, and then they blew the doors off Ohio State. So
yeah,
I'll throw Maryland out there for you. Oh shoot, sorry.
Not Oregon.
Again, I haven't seen the West Coast teams. I don't know. I know that
Oregon is 9-1. They have wins over Texas A&M, Alabama, USC, San Diego
I saw the
State,
end of the Alabama game,
and then they lost by 2 to UCLA the other night. So
I think it's I think there are probably 8 Big Ten teams that are basically the same.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not out that far out on Purdue. I still think they're probably one of the better 3 teams in the conference. I'll put Illinois there because I do think talent wise they're there. I'll say Oregon. I think they'll be there at the end and I agree. I think that it's kind of there's just a lot of teams that are just going to beat up on each other, and that's all this Big Ten ever is. And I feel like it's even more now because just get other good teams, and that's just all they're going to do. So
on Ken Palm, the highest ranked Big Ten team is UCLA at 14. Illinois is 15. There are 11 Big Ten teams from 14 to 38 in Ken Palm.
Yeah.
And then Iowa sits at 46. So there are 12 in that frame, and then you get to kind of the second tier.
Watch. This is the year the Big Ten has a national champion.
Yeah, you said that preseason. Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah. I thought you said that before. Yeah.
I don't remember, but that's fun.
Yeah.
All right, let's get off here. I think it's time to go to bed. All right, that's gonna do it for us. Final from Champaign, 86-80. Illinois wins, improves to 7-2. Big one this Saturday. Illinois hosts the number 1 team currently in the country, Tennessee. That is a 4:30 Central Time tip, 5:30 for us in the East. We'll maybe
Fox.
try to do a show. We'll see. I don't even know where I'll be. I don't plan on going anywhere, but honestly, who knows? It's the Saturday.
It's the same time as the Louisville, Kentucky game, so I am not leaving the house because this place Saturday is crazy.
The only Saturday I have left before I travel back for the weekend. So I don't know where I'll be, but I'll probably be watching. But yeah, that's a big one on Saturday, and then after that, it's bragging rights on December 22nd. So big opportunity this weekend to make a big statement and bounce back after the Alabama loss earlier in the season. So we'll see what happens. It's a pretty good Tennessee team. Obviously, the AP thinks so. We'll see what happens. So
they played They I don't want to say whooped Miami, but they handled their business against Miami.
They're playing the Jimmy V tonight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any final notes from you?
No.
Okay. Alrighty. That's going to do it for us. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, getting in the chat. As always, like, share, subscribe on YouTube. I don't even know where we're at follower or subscriber-wise, but I'm sure Craig would like more. So
646.
646? Ooh, let's try to get to 700. Go for 1,000. I don't know.
Yeah, let's get to 1,000 before the end of the season.
That'd be great. We probably need to be a little bit more consistent with these things.
Yeah, that might be tough.
Honestly, these 9 o'clock starts for the East is brutal. Like, I'm not saying that I need to go to bed every night before midnight, but like, I'm struggling.
It's brutal.
All right. Yeah. We're going to say goodbye. He's Craig. I'm Logan. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.